Okay, Josie, I've got your composition up here. Still working on getting this together. Let me know what you suggest. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, okay, first of all, Vans. I live on Vans. I have this exact shoe right here. This is Vans Old School, and I've had Vans for 20 some years. I always do. I also have high tops too. So I can definitely relate with Vans in my everyday life without question. So I certainly appreciate your choice here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I think I've got a couple of recommendations here. First of all, I think that you've done a really good job mixing typefaces. You've got a nice sans serif, classic traditional serif typeface here, and you're mixing that with a more modern, contemporary looking sans serif for the typeface. So that's fantastic. I don't think you need this horizontal rule right here. I think it's creating some separation that we don't need. What I would recommend is this. Design in everyday life. Okay, this is a subhead. Vans off the wall since 1966. I think we can group that with the headline. So let's remove the horizontal rule and let's just take this up and bring it closer in proximity to the headline. So we have a headline, subhead, Vans off the wall since 1966. You can even increase the type size on that a little bit. Now the assignment requirements indicate that we have to have a paragraph of body copy. I don't think this is enough. You just have this one sentence. So I would, it is typography, so we do want to include as much text as possible. I think one interesting thing that I would recommend is if you take your shoe, leave your shoe here. I also want to talk about that in a second. But so you have your first text copy. Okay, you can't move down with it any. So let's go ahead and create another text block. Okay, a really good idea would be to take some measurement from the shoe. Okay, let's say the distance between the edge of the shoe and where the shoelaces start. Okay, so if you take that might be a good indication, or that seems a little bit, maybe the distance between the back of the shoe and the top of this. So we go there, okay, and that could be the size of your text blocks. But at any rate, whatever the measurement is, my idea is to use the two columns of text blocks, okay, of text. So two text blocks, so one column here, one column here. Because you can't move down, but we are going to have to introduce more type, so it would go in a second column of type. This shoe right here is just begging to be larger. I really think it is. I would go ahead and make this shoe about that big. Bleed it off the bottom or get it close to the bottom of the page, but I really, really think a bigger shoe is going to add a lot more visual interest. And a good mark would be this. Bring the shoe to the same size as your type. Okay, so as we can see the type right here, so the shoe would be something like that, right? The same size as the width of the headline. Okay, now the next thing I would recommend is this. You don't need that period right there too. This is an idea and not a sentence, so we don't need that period. Watch your rags. When you add more type, you're going to be confronted with the rag situation. So you want to watch your rags. I do not recommend including hyphens in this small amount of text. The one thing that's getting me, and it's really creating some uncomfortable visual tension in the composition, is the fact that you've got these hexagons over here, but there's no hexagons in the image at all. So the hexagons seem to have been randomly chosen as the shape for the images. And that to me is conceptually disconnected. So there's no connection between the introduction of the hexagons. We don't see hexagons anywhere in the composition, but we see them here. Okay, now what you could feasibly do is use circles. Not that there's a connection. There is a small connection. The eyelets are circles. But using circles for your images, Vans are a skate shoe. So circles are the shape of the wheels of a skateboard. So think about that. Plus the way that the horizontal orientation of the headline and the shoe itself is going to really, really complement the circles because you've got the horizontal shape of the skateboard with the circles. So we could mimic that with the horizontal shape of the headline and the circles for the wheels. Okay, so to me, circles would make more sense in the actual shape of the images that you're using. You've got your captions on the images, but they're not consistent. Okay, be active. Again, that's an idea, not it's technically it is a sentence, but it's an idea. So I'm not real sure you even need that period. However, you do have punctuation here and here, exclamation point and question mark. So the period can stay. This is much bigger than these. Okay. Matter of fact, it looks like this is smaller than this, and this is larger than this. So you really want consistency in your captions. As a matter of fact, I would go ahead and recommend that you place your captions in italic just to set them, even give them a further indication of typographic hierarchy. Okay, let's take a look at the requirements. Object must be dominant. It is. Object must be shown with someone using it or interacting with it. It is. Must show an image which is the result of the object. Technically, the result of tennis shoes is putting them on and walking with them, or putting them on and skating. So these are doing double duty, so you're good there. Must show at least 2 components. All right, this is where it gets funny. Instead of using this image that's just showing the shoes, I would recommend this. You've got someone interacting with the object. You've got a result of using an object. Okay, so we need components. So what you could do is show an image up here, not in the background, but just a masked image of maybe the sole of the shoe. Okay, caption, talk about the sole. And then also maybe you could even zoom in and show the eyelets or some other component of the shoe. So you got the sole and maybe the circles where the shoelaces go. That could be another image with another caption there. Okay, those are my recommendations, but I definitely think this image could be much, much bigger. The size of the width of the headline would be a perfect width for the size of the shoe. Okay, all right, so again, in summary, increase the size of the shoe, remove the rule, bring the subhead up, increase the size, make a connection between the headline and the subhead, 2 columns of body copy, okay, and then circles to indicate wheels as opposed to the hexagon. Since it is a skating shoe, I think it would make sense to use circles. And then consistency in your captions, and 2 components of the shoe. One could be a sole, one could be the tongue of the shoe, one could be the stitching, could be the eyelets for the shoelaces, could be the back there. That might be an interesting shot right there, the back logo. That's the logo that is on the back of the shoes, but it would have to be a component of the shoe, so it would have to be like an actual image of that logo on the back of the shoe as opposed to the Vans logo in general. All right, so yeah, a great start. Really interesting job. Nice work. And those are my recommendations. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. All right, good job. Thank you very much.